Hey guys, Mike here. So today's review is 1982's The Thing, starring Kurt Russell as MacReady. In The Thing, a research team in Antarctica discovers a shape-shifting alien that assumes the forms of its victims. And so we have The Thing. So guys, this is a film that before watching and reviewing it today, I had not seen it before. The only version of The Thing that I'd seen before watching this one was the 2011 version of The Thing. And people have been requesting that I watch this film for quite a while now. One user in particular, Aurora Hill, in quite a lot of my videos they've commented on, they've mentioned that I should watch this film. And the reason I haven't watched it sooner is because I wanted to get my cult classic series out of the way before I got into requests. And as you can gather, I am now taking requests. I'm going to say it again at the end of the video, but for now, if there's a film you want me to watch, just leave it in the comments below. But in any case, what do I think of The Thing? Well, first of all, it was quite bad because the lead character in this, MacReady, I was there like, man, this guy looks a lot like Kurt Russell. And then I looked it up and found out, well, it was Kurt Russell. I mean, it was pretty bad that I didn't know it was him just right off the bat. But even still, I was there just like, man, this looks a lot like Kurt Russell. So, I mean, the awesome factor of this film went right the way up when I found out that Kurt Russell was in this. I mean, I probably should have known sooner, but nevertheless. Well, might as well get straight into it. The practical effects. Now, the effects are what this film is famous for. And you'd think that a movie that's 38 years old, these effects would look quite dated. No, no, no. These effects have aged brilliantly because it's all done practically. There may be one or two touch-ups with some CGI, I'm not really sure. And the bonus of having practical effects over CGI is that it feels present. You can actually feel weight and terror. It actually feels present. And it's just so ridiculously creative as well. Because this is such an unusual and unique creature, it can pretty much take any kind of form. So when you have it in one scene, it can be completely different in another, and then completely different in another scene as well. So the Thing doesn't really have one particular form, and that's what makes it so terrifying as well, that it can just appear as anything. Now, the only scene in this film that I'd seen before watching it was the defibrillator scene. Because I watch a lot of videos about films, movies and whatever on YouTube, and this clip keeps appearing up. And I thought that maybe it's the most impressive and the best practical effects scene in the film. And while one can argue that it was the best, I was just blown away by all the others as well. The dog scene in particular was quite unsettling, because I'm pretty much one of those people that, anything bad happens to people, who cares? But if anything bad happens to dogs, yeah, that's when I start to be like, well, this sucks. And I'm just sitting there watching these dogs get turned into these mutants, just like, nah, take the people instead. Why do you have to do it to the dogs? So let's talk about the rest of the film. I thought that watching this, that the practical effects would be the best part of the film. And while I still believe that is the case, there is just so many other great things about this film. First of all, the performances. Everyone is just brilliant in this. They all start off being quite friendly, not exactly overly friendly to the point of just thinking that like, oh, these guys will never betray each other, but friendly enough that you think that like they've all got a decent rapport with one another and they do trust each other. And then as the film goes on, the mistrust just keeps rising and rising to pretty much breaking point, pretty much to the point where they just basically kill each other without a second thought. And just the horror, suspense, tension that this all creates is just absolutely insane. And there are just these scenes where you just don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know who's infected, you don't know who's not infected, and it further adds to the tension and horror that this film creates. And like I said at the start of the review, the version that I'd watched before seeing this one was 2011's The Thing. And I remember quite liking that film. I thought, yeah, this is decent. But then after watching the 1982 original one, well, not the original one because this is a remake of a film from like the 40s or 50s, but still, after watching this version, I decided to look up some clips of the one from 2011 to see how much better, or if it actually is better. And I gotta say, it is just amazing how that version looks dated before this one. I mean, you've got a 9-year-old movie that already looks dated, as opposed to a 38-year-old movie that still looks good today. I think it's just the benefits of having a really creative director and having effects that are practical, which can stand the test of time, as opposed to something that's just created in a computer and is kind of derivative of something that someone else made as well. Honestly, what are things lost in the 2011 version that's really kind of put to the forefront in the 1982 version is just the mystery element. Now, I could be wrong about this because I haven't actually watched the 2011 one since first watching it, so that was like 9 odd years ago. But still, it just seems like the monsters, or aliens basically, just want to attack people all the time. They just don't really care about stealth or sneaking around or trying to infiltrate or assimilate. Whereas in the 1982 version, it just seems to be their main goal. Assimilate, take over, and if that's not possible, sabotage and try again. Basically what I'm saying is, if you have to choose between the more modern version and the, well, let's face it, just the absolute classic, I'd pretty much go with the John Carpenter version, because it's just better in pretty much every conceivable way. Overall, guys, this film was incredible. definitely better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I knew this film was going to be good, but I had no idea how amazing it was going to be. The performance is really good, the horror and tension is very present, the creature design is phenomenal, and the effects still hold up to this day. And this was just a very enjoyable film. But would I recommend that you guys should see it? Absolutely. If you haven't seen John Carpenter's The Thing, then by God, you need to see this film. And as well, I would say that it doesn't necessarily hurt to watch the 2011 one before watching this one. If anything, I'd say watch that one first, then come back to this one. But I mean, if you want to just pick between the two, I'd say just skip out the 2011 one, just watch the 1982 version. Okay guys, that's my review of The Thing. Do you love it? Do you hate it? And what do you think I should watch next? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!